Earlier this month, we assembled a panel of foodies for their 2016 food trends, and they claim this year is all about...
I just think vegetables are the hottest ingredients right now. They're because they've become so sexy, and because it's no longer like vegetarian menus are no longer about like squash ravioli. You know what I mean? And so to me, it's like the chefs are all taking it on as this really cool like challenge.
Well, listen, right in our kitchen, our first guest is taking on that challenge. She is making vegetables the star of the show, and she's choosing some plants that you might just be walking by in the produce aisle.
yeah.
We welcome the co-owner of Cafe 421 and my best hugging partner of the day, Antigoni Sander McCloud.
A nice hug.
I love it. Here we go.
We don't have to do 20 seconds.
Boy, this is wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, which vegetables have you chosen? We're starting with something green.
Right, I've chosen some unusual ones. We're starting with Swiss chard, and then we're going to move down to fennel and parsnips.
Now, Swiss chard, if you've never had it, what do you love about it?
What you love about it is that it is hearty. It is similar to spinach, but it is a little bit better for you, and it makes you feel a little bit more full.
It's almost like a spinach kale hybrid, I think.
Exactly. It's not quite as bitter as kale
yes.
goes. So for those of you who are interested in delving into the world of bitter greens, but kale's not your thing yet, Swiss chard is a great one.
Delve into the world of bitter greens.
Careful, because once you go in, you
can't
get
go
back
back.
out. I'm telling you.
All right, so what do we do to make this dish?
Okay, so this is a super rustic dish, very, very Greek inspired. And Greeks love their bitter greens. So I took the Swiss chard, which we pass by in the supermarket often, kind of wondering what to do with it, or we just saute it with garlic and olive oil and keep it simple.
Yeah.
This is simple too. We're putting lots of delicious olive oil over it, which is good for you, and aromatics like onions and garlic and a few other Greek ingredients. And oftentimes people are detoured from these vegetables because they don't know how to break them down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
what do you do with
So we've got this stem down below that's super woody and a little bit tough.
Yeah.
And you can eat it, but on your average weeknight, if you don't want to deal with it, it takes a little longer to cook. Cut it off, save it for stock, or pickle it. There's lots of things to do with these.
I use it in soup, like just with the carrots.
Exactly. It'll, like celery, it'll soften up while it cooks. But then for this, we cut the vegetable into 1-inch ribbons, and I like to keep it super simple. I take the leaf, I fold it in half. I do not remove the stem at all, and I just slice it
There we
in
go.
chunks.
Easy.
That
Easy
is
peasy.
it. You don't have to worry about the stem. The hardest part about it is really washing it because it's rather large, and that's it.
So when you braise it, now because this is like a heartier green, it can withstand being in the oven for a little bit longer.
Exactly. It doesn't melt. We braise it at a low temp, 350 for an hour, covered with tin foil, and then we uncover it and put the oven to 425 and let it roast so it gets roasty on top like that. And just so you know, you would layer it like a casserole, and it takes up a lot of space. So if you were making it, I don't want you to get nervous when you see your Swiss chard kind of pile over like that. That's how it's supposed to look. That's how this looked to start, and it melted down to next to nothing.
Tig said we can eat it right out of the
Oh.
pan.
Yeah, because it's like family
said,
style,
look.
like we're back in the village.
Oh, the village.
And then
This is
my
a good
favorite thing
village.
to do with one of these dishes, these olive oil based dishes, is to grab some bread, dip it in that olive oil. Steve, try some
Okay.
olive
that's
oily bread.
good.
It's so tasty, and there's so few ingredients in there.
I love that. Okay.
Isn't that awesome?
Swiss chard is delicious. Let's move on to fennel. You've got some fennel bulbs here just stored, and then you have the fronds separately. This is interesting.
Exactly. So when storing fennel is one of those things that I'm not going to lie, sometimes I don't want to buy it because it's so big and it takes up so much room in my refrigerator. The best way to store it is to chop the fennel stalks off of the bulb and then put the bulbs in one zipper bag and the fronds in another and put them in your crisper.
Oh, this is a great idea. Now, you've made a roasted cauliflower and fennel soup.
That is correct.
Looks like cozy winter in a bowl.
It is, and it is gluten-free and it's dairy-free, but it's so creamy and rich. You have some spoons here if you'd like to try it. And a cool little trick that I used with this, we obviously roasted the cauliflower, so we got sweet flavors out of both the cauliflower and the fennel.
Yep.
But then as a trick, I used white rice with the liquid, with the stock and the vegetables, and pureed it all together, and it gives it a nice velvety texture and keeps it gluten-free and no flour, heavy butter, or cream or anything.
That's wonderful.
Isn't that yummy?
Boy, these are, you can tell when a recipe is simple and powerful.
Man,
And
that
you know what I
is
mean?
good.
It's sometimes less is so much more.
I would eat this
Exactly.
all
That's
day,
really
every
good.
day. Yeah, that's outstanding. Okay, so we've covered Swiss chard, we've covered fennel, the parsnip.
The parsnip.
Oh man, often seen as like carrot's paler cousin.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. He's
Yeah.
totally like Carrot's cousin.
Sad.
Without a
pale cousin.
tan, right?
Yeah.
So the parsnip is something that I did not grow up eating at all. It's not like, these are very common in the Greek diet, the chard and the fennel. Parsnip, not so much.
Okay.
People can interchange these with carrots for a lot of recipes. They're great in a pot roast. They're great in soups. I made a mash today for you.
Oh.
Again, we roasted them and chopped them, oopsies, into matchsticks. So you can see how small we got them and roasted them in the oven, tossed with honey and olive oil, salt and pepper, get that nice caramelly color on the outside.
Oh, nice.
And then in a separate pot, you'll see in front of Steve, I have some heavy cream and some chicken stock or veggie stock infused with lemons, thyme, and bay leaf and shallots and garlic. Simmer those together so the liquid infuses with flavor, strain them out, and that's what I use to puree the parsnips
Okay,
with.
that's smart.
Yeah, and it gives it a
Something
really
special.
lovely, subtle flavor. And frankly, like using the whole stalk of thyme like that is super lazy because you don't have to pick the leaves off, but you get all the flavor.
Holy
I mean,
Hannah,
here's the deal.
Antigoni.
These poor parsnips, they are packing so much flavor, and we just keep walking by them because they admittedly look very drab. That's
You know,
delicious.
this could be the most surprisingly delicious thing you've ever made on the show. I
Well,
mean, because that's everything you bring here is delicious, but that is something that I kind of thought, oh yeah, that'll probably be good. That is like bang for your buck with the
Score!
flavor.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, Tig.
Let's hug it out.
Hug it out.
Thank you.
Hey, you can
Thank
find
you.
more of Tig's recipes and her tricks for entertaining. Just head to her beautiful blog. It's called A Pinch of Lemon. We're going to have a link on TwinCitiesLive.com under food, and then you can also get these recipes on the go with the TCL recipe app. Download it for free on your smartphone. I will take that bowl.
Isn't that just fantastic? Wow.
Awesome.
Hey, next.